On today's Moving the Chains, another great interview, the new head coach of the JL Mann Patriots, Bryce Smiley. JL, a guy that's been in the upstate for a long time, man, coached a lot of winning football teams going over to Greenville County.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just see this influx of talent, whether it be, players and coaches, everything going into Greenville County. Definitely need that, and that's no exception here with Coach Smiley here, coming from that Gaffney program. Won a lot, so it's going to be exciting to see what he does. Really fun, again, catching up with him today.
Yeah, great interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, Bryce Smiley, new head coach of the JL Mann Patriots, here on Moving the Chains.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.
Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Drell Hendricks. Got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the JL Mann Patriots, Bryce Smiley. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Well, we appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. Our website, movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and all other podcast platforms. Coach Smiley was hired in February. He was the defensive coordinator at Gaffney and had been on staff for 15 seasons, and he played collegiately at Presbyterian College. Let's start there, Coach. You've been an assistant for a long time. You're taking over as the head man now at JL Mann. What's that transition been like, kind of coming from Cherokee County over here now to Greenville County?
It's been different. It's been exciting, though. It's been very exciting. JL Mann's kind of been on the up and up, and being able to come in and kind of bring a lot of what I've learned and gathered from a place like Gaffney, I think has been good. I think the kids have kind of saw some of the other things that they hadn't seen before, and we've really been getting after it ever since I got here. I think February 15th was kind of the first day that I was really here in the weight room and kind of around the kids. So it's been great. I always kind of had this idea of things in my mind about how I would do things. And it's funny, you get to a place that's a lot different than kind of where you've always created these images or these plans, and you have to adapt. And so there's been a lot of adapting. But at the same time, I think we've been very efficient in what we've done. And there's no doubt that we are putting in what I would call a without equal amount of work. So,
Coach, let's talk briefly about your background and your coaching experience. Kevin mentioned it, 15 years at Gaffney, your alma mater there, a very, very special place. What were you able to learn under, some legendary coaches over there that you've been able to bring to JL Mann?
I tell you, man, Coach Jones was a phenomenal football coach. And, he did a great job of just allowing his coaches to coach, as long as it was, under his philosophy and his approach. He did a great job, I thought, hiring good people and allowing assistants to kind of flourish in specific roles. I've tried to really take a lot of that from him, and then he was a great at just monitoring and adjusting. And that's a life skill, and it's also a football skill. How many times in games do things not go as planned or something? And so I really took a lot of that from him, and just the importance of the weight room that that was placed in Gaffney, and that they're fortunate enough to have a full-time strength coach on staff. I was fortunate enough to work alongside two very good ones while I was there, and I was able to take a lot of information from them that we're currently using here now with some small adaptations. But I was just fortunate to work with Coach Jones, and for him to give me a shot fresh out of college while I was still student teaching. He coached me, and he knew that I love football, that I was passionate about it, that I was a student of the game. And he gave me a shot, and I'm, forever grateful for that to him, and then getting to work alongside some other great coaches too.
One of the biggest things for a first-time head coach is getting that staff, really filled out with some good guys around you, Coach. Who are some of those folks you're able to bring in? And do you have the staff fully set now? So looking for a couple pieces, or kind of how's that shaking out for you?
We're fully set in a sense. That obviously have room for a couple more. I would like to hire 2 more. Right now, I'm doing the secondary by myself. And that's a task in itself. And then when you add the head coaching responsibilities on it, it can get kind of tricky at times. So I would really like to hire an assistant DB coach. And, if that person is, very capable, then, I would be fine passing some of that off. And then the other position is, I would like to hire an H-backs and a tight ends coach. Right now, those guys are working a little bit with our O-line, a little bit with our backs. So I would like to have that. But other than that, I've been fortunate to get guys that want to be here. And I've got some young guys, that are just hungry. And, I was fortunate enough to get Lance Hansen, who's a veteran, been around some really good programs, to do my offensive line. That was actually the first hire that I made, was the offensive line position. And he's been great. And then offensive coordinator Chris Knight's been transitioning up from Charleston. And, the kids are really buying into what we're doing on offense. And I'm really excited about some of the things we're going to do and the way that we're going to look. I'm very excited for that. So yeah, I'll tell you another one that was a big one. All of them were big, I hope you understand. But I got a guy from Gaffney that coached with me for a long time and even played beside me at Gaffney. And he's been a tremendous tool because he knows our defense inside and out. So he's able to kind of take some of that off of me. But his name's Julius Wilkerson. He's going to be doing our inside linebackers. But not to leave anybody out, but some of the guys that were unnamed are just doing a phenomenal job. Several of the guys that were here on staff that decided to stay have been huge for me to kind of learn the lay of the land. And I just got some really great guys that are taking things off of me, like film and painting and transportation, stuff like that. That's been a tremendous help.
Coach, another big part of the transition is you adopting your own scheme and bringing that into the fold there. Obviously, you're a defensive guy. Are you you mentioned being the secondaries coach as well. Are you still going to call those plays on defense? What are you planning on doing there? And then also, what are you expecting from your offense?
Defensively, I'm going to be calling the plays this year. It is something that I would love to pass off maybe in the next year or so. But this year, I will be calling the defense. And I'll be kind of leading that charge just as a whole. I'll just be leading that. You didn't ask about special teams, but special teams, I have assigned a young coach that role of special teams coordinator, and he's done a great job. He reminds me a lot of me when I was younger, just hungry, wants to learn. He's got a good background. He came from Clemson, where he assisted with the receivers and in the weight room. So he's been a tremendous hire, and has really worked. He's a worker. He's a worker, and I need workers. And then offensively, I'll just tell you the truth. When I met with Coach Knight and decided to offer him the position, I told him, and I pulled up the stats from last year's teams at the 4A and 5A level that played for the state championship, and they all averaged over 48 points a game. They all did. That West Side, Northwestern, Somerville, Dutch Fork. They were all right around the 48-point mark. So, I told him, I was like, I don't really care what we look like, but this is the goal. And I told him, I gave him first pick on all personnel. So, it wasn't like I came in and hoarded all the players. I told him he had first pick. So, I think offensively you have to score points. I just believe that. I believe you can look at the stats. The data shows that the teams that played for the state championship last year at the 2 highest divisions, they all scored 48 points or more per game on average. So, to me, that's the goal.
Coach, you mentioned playing, coaching, for Coach Dan Jones such a long time there, and what a great influence he's had on you in your career. But who are some other guys maybe that you kind of try to pick some things from here and there to kind of mold how you've been as a coach? And is there anybody maybe even at the college or pro level you like to watch now to kind of take some things from as you're, working on your game plan and just your coaching career?
Yeah, I'll definitely give you some names. So my first year at PC, I played for Tommy Spangler for 1 year. And, oh, man, what a tremendous football coach that guy is. And, he's at Furman now. But he probably don't even know that. But, I learned so much from him. I was just a sponge. I still have my notebooks from my freshman year in college where I took notes. I actually took his football class. He had a football class that I took, and I still got my notebook from that class that I actually go through from time to time. So he would have been a big one. Bobby Bentley was a huge one. I played for him for 2 years at Presbyterian College, and I'm good friends with Coach Bentley's son, Jake. So I actually took a lot away from how Bobby ran practice. And that's kind of the practice formula that we're using, honestly, was his practice schedule. And so the way he coached quarterbacks and things like that. And then Randy Birch would have been a tremendous he's such a football guy, and he loves kids, and he loves football, and he knows football, both sides of the ball, like the back of his hand. And getting to co-coordinate with him those years that we got to work together was the best thing for me. And I would hope he would say the same thing for him. Like, I really was able to kind of learn the run game more from him and why you do this with your hand, and why you do this with your first step, and why you play this technique instead of this. And, he and I really, really, I think, fed each other different aspects of the game of football, and a tremendous football coach. So those would have been probably the main ones. I learned some from Cameron Brooks, who was at Gaffney for a long time. And so I think, again, hating to possibly leave somebody out, but those have probably been the main ones that had an impact on me and my learning of the game of football and coaching it.
Coach, that 15 seasons that you spent as an assistant, I feel like it's misleading. You're still a really young guy, or maybe I'm just getting old and I'm trying to think that I'm still young as well. But obviously being a coordinator, the natural progression is taking that next step to be a head coach. How did you know you were ready to make that step and leave home?
Oh, man. It's so hard. I'll just tell you the truth, man. I had gotten to where in Gaffney, I was pretty much operating on autopilot, man. I had gotten to where I know that I was doing my job fully, and I was meeting all the standards and formulating a game plan defensively, setting up a scheme. The last year at Gaffney, I actually ran the defense the same way that I would run a head coach if I was the head coach. We had team meetings every week where we had players stand up and share different testimonies and things about their life and why they played football. We had our own little brand inside the defensive core, and I had the defensive players over to my house. Just all the things that I said I wanted to do as a head coach, I did last year at Gaffney. And, I knew that it was time for a new challenge. I didn't know where that was going to be or when it was going to be, but I knew that this was something that I had dreamed of and something I had wanted to do, and I felt like it was something that the Lord was leading me to. Again, I didn't know when. It's something that I had been pursuing for a few years. And, I'm fortunate enough now that JL Mann gave me this opportunity, and that so many of these kids have bought into what we're doing. And I really am just blessed with the group of kids that I have and the way that they're working and buying into what we're doing.
Let's talk about some of those kids, Coach. Who were some special players coming back that you guys had that we should really be on the lookout for this fall?
Well, I think out of our 26s, our starting quarterback, we haven't had him the whole time I've been here because he's a baseball player, McLeod Darnell. But he started for JL Mann last year until he got hurt. But he's been just such a blessing to have, and the way he leads by his actions. He's a quarterback, and he's in here just crushing it in the weight room. Just a great kid to have, and a great leader. Even though he's not as verbal as he could be at times, his actions speak so loud. And so he's been a good person to have. And then receivers Cam Robinson and Nate Holmes are also some 26 kids that are very explosive, that have been that have been voted summer captains by their teammates, which I think speaks a lot. And I'm expecting big things from them. Defensively, some of 26s are Riggs, Manning, Josiah Smith, Jordan Turner, Butler. Those would be some of the seniors that I think have really stood out defensively. I'm hoping that Zach Petty, a defensive end for us, has a great year being a senior. And then moving into some of those 27s, I mean, I think we got a lot of 27s that I'm really hoping for big things from. Offensively, it'd be our offensive line: Christian Sullivan, Jensen Sullivan. Luke Penland's going to play some OL for us. He's also going to play some D-line for us. And then Sean Carvalho at inside linebacker, Spencer Berg at safety. So I really like our 27s. I tell you what, just thinking the kid that I left off that has probably been the most consistent player of the whole team is Hunter Rogers. He's going to play our outside linebacker for us. But he has just been a workhorse since I got here, and he's doing phenomenal. Major Workman's also a 27 kid that's going to play for us a lot. He actually started on last year's team. He got hurt I think it was the first game of the year, the second kickoff. He tore his ACL. And man, what a beast this kid is. I mean, he squatted 500 pounds at our strength night the other night. He power cleaned 300. He benched 300. So to be 8 or 9 months off of an ACL repair, doing that kind of stuff, I mean, he has just been an animal. So I'm excited about him. And I know I'm getting long-winded, but I got some 28s that are also just wow. I got a running back, KV Massey, an offensive lineman, Wyatt Pullman, another offensive lineman, Thomas Bull. And I mean, I hope I'm not leaving people out, but man, I'm excited. We got lots of kids that if they continue what they're doing with this buy-in they've shown, and they continue to put this work in and stack days consistently, I got some kids with a lot of bright futures. And if we can join all that together, we're going to be a very, very special football team.
Coach, you never have to wrap it up when it comes to talking about the players. That's what we do this for, is to shine a light on those guys. So that's cool to see that you have a bright young future, and you got some studs that are ready to shine this year going into their last season playing ball. But, Coach, I want to ask you this. You keep emphasizing the weight room and strength and things like that throughout this interview. You learn a lot about your team, the offseason program, and spring ball as well. What were you able to pick up from this group?
I was able to pick up that most of them, and I'm going to say most, I'm not going to say all. I mean, there's a 95% of them want to be pushed. They want to be pushed. They want to know that what they're doing is good, that what they're doing is not just some random workout that this guy brought in. It is an actual program that is specifically designed for them and their maxes, and doing their right weight for each set for the right number of weights is important. And when I came in, we started a strength regimen that was designed to be 12 weeks, but we didn't have 12 weeks. We only had 9 weeks. So we did a 9-week version of that. And I mean, multiple kids just skyrocketed on their maxes, multiple. And then going through the spring, we transitioned into an in-season lift to kind of maintain through spring practice. And then once spring practice was over, we transitioned back into what I'm calling our summer lift, which is a lot harder, really focused on strength gain and speed and conditioning. And I have a 95 to 97% of my kids have completely bought in. And it's, we're not focusing on the negative or the couple kids that might be a question mark. We're focusing on those ones that are in. And I've told them since I got here, I want kids that want to be here. I want coaches that want to be here. And if you don't, I'm not going to hold any hard feelings towards you. I want the kids that want to be here, that want to be coached this way, which is a disciplined way, a hard way, where the standard is up here. The standard is out of my screen right now, and our whole thing has been without equal. Everything we do, we want to be without equal. When we break it down on we, and it's not so much the promoting unity as it is without equal. Everything that we do is designed to be better than everybody else. And that takes a lot of work on the coaches, but it also takes a tremendous amount of effort and discipline and purpose and toughness and heart, which is our acronym that we build around depth. It takes a tremendous amount of those things to be that way. And I think I got about 97% of my kids giving that to me.
So, Coach, this is a program that's had some success recently. You know, Coach Watson built a good foundation there. So it wasn't too much tweaking you needed to do. I'm sure you saw that firsthand in that thrilling game that you guys had last season. But what is something that you really, when you came in there, you say, I want to put my stamp on this program, and this is what I would like to change?
Well, you know, they graduated about 30 kids off last year's team. You know, so that was there's a whole new group. When I look at these kids, there's literally less than 5 of them that have varsity experience. I mean, I think that's about an accurate number. McLeod was the starting quarterback, you know. Sean Carvalho played a very little bit last year. Major Workman played a very little bit last year. Jordan Turner Butler played some, I think, but there's not a lot of these guys with a lot of experience. And that's kind of been one thing I've sold it to them, was like, you know, this is a new team. This is y'all's team. And the work you put in from now till then will define how we are. And, you know, I met with each player when I got here. I made that a point to meet with each player one-on-one. Those meetings ranged anywhere from 20 minutes on the short end to 45 minutes on the long end. And it took me about 3 weeks to get through that. And I was chomping at the bit to start coaching football, but I really wanted to put an emphasis on getting to know these kids and learn about them, learn about their families, learn about their goals. And I wanted to get their thoughts on this football team and this football program. And each one said that they wanted to see more discipline and they wanted to see more player leadership. That was the 2 things they told me. So I'm able to kind of hold on to those things when things may not be going the best, or when I'm not seeing those things. I just bring it up and I say, hey, y'all told me you wanted this. You told me this. And, you know, discipline is something that I live and thrive on. I believe that discipline is accountability for everything, having a standard that never changes. And we're going to hold ourselves to that standard. We're going to be disciplined. There's going to be accountability for any time you hurt your team, whether that be a 5-yard penalty, a 15-yard penalty, or, you know, even something in the school where you make the team look bad. There's going to be accountability for that. And again, I'm not familiar with the ins and outs and how this program worked before me. Don't really care, honestly. You know, we're going to do things the way that I've always planned on doing it. We'll monitor and adjust as needed, which there's been a lot of that. But really the stamp that I've been trying to put on it is literally we're going to outwork people and we're going to be the most disciplined football team. And I think coming August, if we really believe in our hearts that we've outworked people and that we are the most disciplined team, I think we'll see that lead to confidence, and then confidence naturally leads to good things and victories.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Coach, couple easy ones for you. Let you get out of here. A couple quick ones for you. Maybe, I guess, it's, you know, in your office now on a home game on a Friday, on the bus to an away game on a Friday. What's on your pregame playlist as you kind of get ready to take the field?
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a lot different than most people. I'll tell you. Well, I say that I don't know that, but I love Christian music. It's just what I listen to. I'm a big fan of. I like modern praise and worship, and I like some old hymns. I tell you the truth. I mean, I'm usually pretty locked in beforehand. A lot of times I'll sleep on the bus ride. But I like to play just some praise and worship music and an old hymn or two here and there. Here in the weight room, you know, I had the kids make a clean rap playlist that I play sometimes, but I also have a Christian rap playlist that I play. I don't know if it's the coolest thing, but I'm just not going to play stuff with filth in it. That's just not me. And I won't bend on that. And it may hurt me at some point. I don't know if I don't know. It may. I'm not going to bend on it. I'm just not. So I listen to praise and worship music and a hymn or two here and there, and that's kind of. It just puts me, I think, in a great spot. Able to handle situations. Not being up too high or too low, just being able to handle things. And I know that's what's best for me. It may not be what's best for everybody, but for me, that's what works.
Love that for you, Coach. This is one that we ask every person that joins our program, and you've been in Greenville long enough now, so you don't get much, leeway here. If me and Kevin are coming to a game, what is the restaurant that we got to check out before we see the Patriots hit the field?
Oh my goodness, I am very new to Greenville. Let's see here. All I can do is give you some suggestions that people have given me.
Perfect.
That'll work.
Frodo's Pizza was something somebody recommended that my wife ate at with my wife and I. Zorba's is a recommendation that I've eaten at. Kitchen Sink was another place that we ate at. And I'll tell you, there's so many food joints in this town. I mean, I don't know how we're going to hit them all. My wife and I started a list of places we want to eat, and you just see them going down the road like, oh, I bet that's good. Oh, I bet that's good. So we got a long list. We cook and eat at home a lot, so it's going to take us a lot of time to knock some of these off our list. But hey, I tell you what, there's anything you want around here, you can pretty much find.
Coach, I'm from Greenville, and I haven't scratched the surface, so don't feel bad.
I'm telling you, man, wow.
So a last one here for you, Coach. I know it's still kind of early, but what are some goals you guys have for the 2025 season for JL Mann?
Well, I mean, we obviously want to win the region. We want to beat our rival. We want to make a run at it. I tell you what, man, I don't know if people do this or not, but I remember Coach Strickland's press conference. I don't know if it's a press conference. The first time he addressed the team at Gaffney in 2003, I was a sophomore sitting in the bleachers. And somebody asked him, what's your expectations for this year? And without skipping a beat, he said 15-0 state championship. And you got to remember, they were coming off, I think, a 2-9 year or something. Like, it was not good. And I'll be darned if we didn't go 14-1 and win the state championship. We lost to Burns that year. They beat us pretty bad. But that was when they were not Big 16 and Gaffney was. So I'd be lying to you if my goal wasn't the state championship. And I can't speak for my team if they're in that type of mindset yet, or if my coaches are. But I mean, being from where I'm from, that is your mindset, and it's that or bust. And I mean, I've had people tell me, Coach, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. Like, it's all I know. It's all I know. And I didn't come here to just win 8 ball games or to just win 10 ball games. And I mean, that's not why I came here. So, I mean, my goal is to win week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, win every week, go into the playoffs at our best and try to win each week and hopefully be playing in Columbia. That's the goal.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Smiley and the Patriots program on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids and their programs, so certainly check them out on there. Like I mentioned, follow us on social media. Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time today and joining us. We really do appreciate it. I just love hearing your story, your background. And as a Greenville County native, I love hearing you bringing that championship mindset to the football in that area. We really need that. So really excited to see what you're going to do, put your stamp on the program, and really have those Patriots ready to play in the fall.
Thank y'all guys for what y'all do.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. Look forward to stopping by practice. We're getting to see you here soon, and best of luck, all right?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
See you.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.